Goldberg coming back and immediately, even though he's been, 1-5 in his last 5 matches, even though he hasn't wrestled in over 3 years, he gets a title shot at Saturday night's main event. So, if you would have told the nation that not only could I not curse, but that Goldberg was going to come back, immediately get a world championship title shot, you never would have thought I'd be able to get out of the show without cursing. But here we are on a Wednesday, and I have not cursed. Hump day, Tommy, hump day. We're halfway there, and I have not cursed.
It's awesome. Congratulations. You're maturing in front of our eyes. It's like our little boy is growing up. I personally could not believe after Monday that I really felt like once you saw it, you were like, hang on, Violetta, let me I don't want to disturb you. And then you went downstairs and you grabbed a pillow and you yelled every curse and expletive that you could into a pillow.
Well, here's the thing, Tommy, and you mentioned this last week, and you kind of gave me a talking to, as you usually do before the show, about how I shouldn't curse. And usually I would just tell you to F off. But I have something to prove, not only to the nation, but to myself, that I can go the entire week without cursing. Now, this all started with you and also Jay Chung, who came on the show on Friday, not
start with me, but continue.
Yes.
It didn't start with me.
Yes, it did start.
This was made up in your head.
No, it started with you.
And then I just rolled with it.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. All right. But I don't want to have a fight with you.
A fight would help me win my bet.
Jay Chung, as I said, this really kind of started with her. She tweeted out last week about how her son Jet has to hear a certain language when it comes to movies and music and TV shows, and Dave LaGreca.
Yep.
So she came on the show. We made a bet. She didn't think there was any way I would go the whole week. And she messaged me and said that Jet, her son, who sits quietly listening to Busted Open, she said he's been extra quiet because he's listening to see if I'm going to crack. And then when she dropped Jet off at school, she said, have a great day at school. And Jet said, bye, Mom. I hope Dave curses.
Yes.
And you win.
See, you're sculpting the youth. That's why it's important you don't curse. I won't even antagonize you, David. I will leave you alone. I want you to be a better person. I want you to be a better radio host. I've cursed, if you've noticed.
Yes!
I've dropped a lot of S-bombs on, but it's after dark. So
yes.
And I think it's a fabulous decision that Goldberg receives a world title shot against Gunther. I think it's great. And I think it's better than Cody getting his world title shot rematch.
Finishing the story.
As well as I feel it's even better and bigger than Jey Uso getting his both contractual rematches. Just throw them out the window, take that contract and rip it up and just throw it in the corner like your curse jar. You don't need it anymore because they're great decisions for Bill Goldberg to receive a world title shot in a couple of weeks, not even having to defeat anybody along the way. You're next.
Well, a couple of things from what you just said, Tommy.
Hang on. Can I, as you rock back and forth?
Yes, sir.
As I tell you this, good Nation member Bill texted me last night. Are you ready?
Yes.
The official match times of Goldberg's last 10 matches.
Okay.
All right. I don't know top to bottom, bottom to top, but I'm just going to read them. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Your new number one contender. I hope he wins the title, by the way, and then also never gives Jay or Cody a title shot. Kevin Owens. 22 seconds. Brock Lesnar, 4:45. This jobber called The Undertaker. He sucks, never has done anything in wrestling. 8:35.
Okay, that's a marathon for Goldberg.
Dolph Ziggler, 1:50. The Fiend, 259. Braun Strowman, 213. Drew McIntyre, 232. Bobby Lashley, 720. Here's the biggest one. Bobby Lashley, 1125. And then Roman Reigns in the main event for 6 minutes.
And that was over 3 years ago, by the way, when Goldberg faced Roman.
So
And listen, no disrespect, because Goldberg's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. He's a friend of the show.
gets the job done.
Yeah, he does get the job done. Listen, there's certain people like
I want to put my glasses on.
I
Because Nation, I gotta tell you, he's rocking back and forth. He's like a volcano ready to explode. His chair he's in the studio. He's moving back and forth. Another time I had to watch him and he's holding the desk and his shoulders are moving. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's rude to interrupt people.
You're not interrupting, and you could talk whenever you want. It's just that, listen, no disrespect, but it looked like Goldberg got winded going to the ring on Monday night. Like, really? He's got a chance. And you know what surprises me more than anything, Tommy, besides the fact how good you look in glasses, is that people are not even upset about Goldberg getting this championship. Like, I am pretty shocked about how many people disagree with my take on what I said on the show yesterday about how illogical this all is. Like, there are people that are completely fine with somebody who's lost 4 of his last 5 matches, hasn't wrestled in 3 years, all of a sudden just shows up and gets a world championship shot at Saturday night's main event. People saying he's a legend. He's the face of WCW. He's earned this. No, he hasn't earned anything. Tommy, as I said on the show yesterday, like, John Cena had to sell his soul to The Rock.
And that worked out well.
And in order to get a championship shot.
That's even bigger than Goldberg.
Goldberg could just walk in and get a shot for no reason other than Gunther upset him and his family 8 months ago at Bad Blood while he was in the crowd with his wife and child. I mean, come on now. And by the way, his child, his son, is like a middle-aged man by now. Like, it's not like it's the kid that we saw, 12 years ago. Guy's like 30, probably owns a house and has kids of his own. Like, really? I mean, come on.
To be completely honest with you, I am trying to get you to curse a little bit. Now, I just got it. He sit back in a chair like he just said everything. He's got sweat under his nice clothes. He's got a meeting later, and he's already got pit stains.
Yes, I mean, I got a big meeting after the show. As everybody knows, still fighting for 24/7. I got a big meeting with the zombies. And already, just from this first 10 minutes of the show, my shirt is wrinkled. I got pit stains through my shirt. I'm spitting as I'm talking.
If I run Sirius, if I own Sirius, I'd literally walk in just because of this bet, and I'd have you sitting at this big board table and you sitting at the end, make you wait a little bit, a couple minutes late, and then I'd have Bill Goldberg walk in and be like, 24/7, it's not happening.
24/7. Who's next? By the way, and I said this too, but it's a better conversation with you.
Yes.
Is that, and not like I'm not getting into age or ageism or anything like that, but Bill Goldberg is 58, right? He's 58 years old. When's the last time Undertaker wrestled? Like 6 years ago? I mean, The Undertaker was 54. And all I heard from people is that The Undertaker shouldn't have one last match. Enough with The Undertaker already. Move on. He's too old. I was saying he should have one last match in front of a crowd in a stadium for WrestleMania, because the last match that he did have, everything else, by the way, I don't count the match with Goldberg because that match was awful. Goldberg knocked himself out in the first 30 seconds of the match.
was a
The
great
Boneyard match was 5 years ago.
and it was 5
Okay?
stars.
So he has 55.
5 stars.
55. But yet, Undertaker was too old to get back into the ring and have a WrestleMania match once we get through the pandemic. But it's okay for a 58-year-old Goldberg who hasn't wrestled in over 3 years and lost 4 of his last 5 matches could just walk in and get a title shot? And everybody's okay with it? And I don't blame Bill Goldberg. Hey, you're going to give Bill Goldberg a title shot? You're going to give him a main event match in Atlanta? God bless. But shame on the WWE and shame on the Busted Open Nation and the fans that think this is okay. All the fans that would complain to me, oh my God, we always get the returning legends. Why don't they give the young wrestler a shot? Yada, yada, yada. You can have Goldberg in a match, but does it need to be a championship match? I mean, R-Truth now for the second time on Friday is getting a match with John Cena. Both those matches have been non-title. But Goldberg gets a title match? And everybody's okay with it. I'm the idiot. I'm the blind man that can't see all of a sudden. Like, it's unbelievable to me that everybody's just okay with it. It's wrestling, Dave. Come on, it's predetermined. Why are you getting so upset? You sound like The Rock. Come on, it's all work. Don't get all upset about it. It's fake. And you want to know something, Tommy? And you know this too. Deep down in your heart. Goldberg's beating Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Why would Goldberg come back to lose? Goldberg's not coming back to lose. The last match he had was with Roman Reigns, who became the guy in the WWE, the face of the WWE, the biggest part of the biggest story for 3 years in the WWE. He helped get that guy over. Why would he come back for a Saturday night's main event to just lose? He's winning the title. He's winning the title. And Bully disagreed, but I disagree with Bully. How does that make Gunther look that he just lost to a 58-year-old man? And you're okay with that? Everybody looks at Gunther like, that's a wrestler. That's our credible guy on the roster. He's the guy. He's the one. And you're going to be okay to have him lose the World Heavyweight Championship to Goldberg? And you're okay with that? I had somebody say, oh, come on, Dave. He earned it. This guy's a legend. He helped WCW beat the WWF in the Monday Night War. That was 25 years ago. That's 25 years ago. If you grew up watching the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, you are old enough now to have grandkids.
Truth.
Like, get off of it already. Enough already.
Besides trying to make you curse, I will counterpoint this.
I hate everybody.
I hear you. That's because you can't curse.
Oh, baby, if I could curse, oh my God. The curse words that would be coming out of my mouth right now.
An impressive
The F word. The MF word. The king of all curses. The MF word. I would be repeatedly saying that, but I'm not because of Jade Chung. You could all blame Jade Chung. And then people are like, I don't like these rants, Dave, without the curses. Well, you know what? As I always say, pray for rain. You got to deal with the mud.
I've never heard you say that once, but
You busted.
All right, all kidding aside.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with Bill Goldberg getting a match against Gunther in his hometown. the pop that Bill Goldberg got was amazing. I don't have a problem with Bill being 58 years old and getting a world title shot. Like I said, ECW One Night Stand 2006. Terry Funk was I think he was 62. I showed you that match with Hulk Hogan and the Crusher. Crusher was 62. And I talked about this on After Dark. I mean, I'm not an MMA person, but I've been watching a lot of documentaries. And in the history of MMA, history of boxing, they have gone the route of people getting title shots, jumping ahead of a lot of other people for the simple fact of, hey, this is going to be a draw, blah, blah, blah. I watched the Ronda Rousey documentary. They literally gave her a title in the UFC without even having a match in the UFC, made her the champion. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if he's going to win. You make an argument for it, but now you, I guess, can see why Jay lost, because Jay versus Goldberg isn't a thing. I'm surprised this match isn't in Saudi, but you're not having Goldberg go to Saudi. You're having Goldberg do it in his hometown. It is a moment if he wins it, and then I think there would be a lot of backlash, and you will curse because your time is up. But I don't have a problem with Bill actually getting a match. Another thing, like, negativity with, Bill, how he's walking. Hey, the guy is 58. He also played pro football. He also has wrestled. He's also walking in cowboy boots, which adds to a little bit of a hitch in your step, as the Cowboys say, and not the worst team ever in football, the Dallas Cowboys, just the regular Cowboys.
Oh, my goodness. You're really trying to make me
And,
curse.
well, they're horrible. When was the last time you won anything with your junk team? All of my teams are better. I love supporting.
Because you root for every team.
I love supporting every team.
You're a big Florida Panthers fan, from what I hear.
But the Dallas Cowboys. I love every team in the NFL but the Cowboys. Worst team ever. And yes, congratulations to my Florida Panthers. Very happy that you guys won. I cried last night after I watched the Coupe de la Stanley Rays again in such a great hockey town of Florida. I mean, when you talk about hockey, you are just the worst. You are just the first of all. They won it last year. They won it last year, and then Florida is the worst play. But let's put multiple teams in Florida because they love hockey in Florida. It's a hotbed. Sold out. Couldn't get a ticket.
Of course, because it's the Stanley Cup Finals.
I tried. I was going to fly down there. I was going to paint my body as well. I
was so rooting for Edmonton because Edmonton deserves it.
I actually was rooting for Edmonton.
Florida Panthers. You could ask 10 people in front of the arena, have you ever heard of the Florida Panthers? They would say no.
Or name 2 players.
I have no problem with Goldberg's age. I have no problem with that at all. Even though people gave me flack about wanting to have The Undertaker have, and I wasn't even asking for a championship match, just one last match, but people had a problem with Undertaker's age, but they have no problem with the age of Goldberg. Oh, I have no problem. I have no problem with Goldberg having a match. That's fine. What I have a problem with is him getting a championship match just because. Or, as Bully said, make it like Gunther came out and gave an open challenge, and then he showed up. Something to make some kind of logical sense on how he gets a championship match at Saturday night's main event, other than the fact that his name is Goldberg and that it's in Atlanta. That's garbage, and it's lazy booking. Lazy. And I never thought I would say that word and connect it with Triple H since he's been in charge of creative, but this was lazy. Lazy.
I am not a fan of the non-title match.
But it's okay for our truth to have 2 non-title matches.
I agree. I'm not a fan of it. Just
get on Saturday night's main event. You're okay giving R-Truth a non-title match on Saturday night's main event, but Goldberg gets a championship match. Then all the uproar about R-Truth getting let go, he gets another match against John Cena because Cena cheated, and it's a non-title match. But Goldberg gets a championship match. No sense.
When a heel says it's non-title. I'll go to, Ric Flair, Nick Bockwinkel. I'm a heel. Somebody usually challenged them to a match right now. And then but it's non-title. And then they beat them. And then you have that. An open challenge would have made better sense, as well as I was surprised. You heard the groan, even though, I had callers calling in that were, went to Green Bay because Bill's pop was frigging insane. You did hear a groan, but the respect factor was, I'm going to fight you in Atlanta. And you heard the people like, oh, we want to see it now. If you would have had an open challenge for Saturday night's main event and Bill walked out, it made perfect sense. Because then it also went to basically Bill's making the match. Because right after that, they went and said, well, the match has been made. It's Goldberg versus, and then Bill never said for the world title, so the executive decision was to make it a world title.
Yes. No sense.
Some holes in it.
Some.
I'm looking forward to.
It's not. No, this isn't even Swiss cheese. This is a hole. This is just one gaping large hole. Not a little hole. Not some holes. This is the definition of a hole. People are fed up and they're not going to take it anymore. And that is the tagline for today's show, Tommy. We're fed up and we're not taking it anymore. Goldberg comes and destroys the Fiend. Fiend was never the same after that. Right down the line. That character was never the same after that. Look what it did to Drew McIntyre. Look what it did to Bobby Lashley. They are going to have Goldberg beat Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Bank on it. They are going to have Goldberg beat Gunther at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg in Atlanta is going to hold that World Heavyweight Championship above his head, and all the WWE brass are going to be, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Look at that. Goldberg's the champ. Yay! Yay, Goldberg!
And retire as the champ.
No, and listen, they'll probably have Seth Rollins cash in, and Seth Rollins will become the champion. But it doesn't matter. What does that do to Gunther? I want justice for Gunther.
It's a good transitional champion.
They took the title off of Jey Uso and put it on Gunther just to have Gunther lose to Goldberg. Let's rewind.
David, you're a historian of wrestling.
Let's go back to the Royal Rumble.
Ivan Koloff, Iron Sheik, it worked out great.
Let's go back to the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Right? Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. Everybody's celebrating 75,000 fans.
They hold it for a short time. They can't get it through customs.
75,000 fans yeeting for Jey Uso. And I would love to have the conversation with those 75,000 fans right after Rumble and say, listen, all you people that are excited about Jey Uso, all you people who are yeeting, Jey Uso, even though he won the Rumble, will not be in the main event at WrestleMania. Two-night WrestleMania, not going to be in the main event. He is going to drop this championship after 6 weeks to Gunther, to have Gunther lose to Goldberg and become your new World Heavyweight Champion. Imagine having that conversation in Indy after the Royal Rumble at the 70. There would be unrest in Indy. Unrest. But now, fast forward to June. Summer's in the air. And everybody's fine with Goldberg just being handed a World Heavyweight Championship because he said some coarse words to his 30-year-old son.
Gage is in.
Guys, Gage is already he's married, has a home, kids.
Gage is in college. He's a stud athlete. Got the same tattoo as his dad on his arm.
All right, so he can stick up for himself. Doesn't need daddy to do this anymore. And and people are cheering for this. The people of Wisconsin, man, they must be just so bound up from all the cheese that they eat that they are just happy for anything that happens. So let's cheer for Goldberg.
Title Town. More titles than the Cowboys.
And the people of Atlanta, who are the worst sports fans on the face of the earth, the people of Atlanta. Terrible sports town. Okay. Yay! Goldberg's the new world heavyweight. Yay! What do you do with Gunther after that?
He's fine.
Tapped out to Jey Uso. Loses to Goldberg.
Stick to your draft rules and nobody crosses over. Send him to SmackDown because nobody crosses over.
I go back to Bray Wyatt and The Fiend because I love Bray Wyatt. I love the beginning of that character, and you had him lose to Goldberg. And I go back and how upset fans were. I remember taking calls from fans, how upset they were about that.
Mm-hmm.
How upset fans were after the match that he had with The Undertaker in Saudi. It took him 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And now you're okay with this? You're okay with this? And I'm talking to you, Tommy. You're okay with this?
Okay. I thought you were just yelling. I also thought all the bugs on the canvas was a great idea for The Fiend. That was, an awesome WrestleMania moment.
Oh, and the Randy Orton at WrestleMania 33?
Another great idea. It's awesome.
You know what makes me even angrier?
What?
Is that whoever came up with the decision to have Goldberg have a championship probably got a raise, probably got a promotion. They're probably like, that's a great idea.
Going to do good numbers. They should get a promotion. It's an interesting matchup, dude.
I think it's bad for me, though, because I did get my heart checked and it's A-okay. But I think not cursing is giving me agita, and I haven't been able to sleep at night. I didn't get no sleep last night or the night before. And I think that a lot of people are like, boy, Dave's, I think I can only go blue. There's people saying that, boy, Dave's not really all that entertaining if he doesn't curse. He's kind of like Andrew Dice Clay. When Andrew Dice Clay tried to do that sitcom on network TV, it failed miserably because they're like, man, he's really not funny if he's not cursing. And I think a lot of people feel the same way about me.
Your rants, you've proven you could go on television now.
877. I don't know if that's a good thing.